Hello students, welcome you all in my YouTube channel Biology Squad. Myself Dr. Preeti Srivastav, PGT Biology, JNV Godda. I am also beloved by a ma'am of students of JNV Giridih and JNV Hanstia. Dear student, today in this lesson we will discuss about a very vital chapter of the unit Genetics and Evolution for class 12th, and the chapter is Mendelian basis of inheritance, or you may say principle of inheritance. Mendelian basis of inheritance. It's a very vital chapter, and in this chapter you will see how parental characters are transferred to the offspring, or first of all it was discovered by a very eminent or pioneer geneticist, pioneer scientist Gregor John Mendel. How traits are transmitted from parent to the offspring, from one generation to the next generation. So, it is a revolutionary work during those period, and a new branch of science emerges by such discovery, that is genetics. Dear student, you all know that parental characters are transmitted to the offspring. Some of the offspring or children, they resemble to their parent, they are very much similar, or siblings are also very much similar. Sometimes they are dissimilar. How such occur? These all depend upon the factor as said by scientist Gregor John Mendel. Okay, so let us see one by one. In the very beginning, we will recall the father of genetics, Gregor John Mendel. G.J. Mendel is known as father of genetics. Before going to discuss his contribution in the field of genetics, let us see some of the facts regarding Gregor John Mendel. Actually, he was son of a farmer, economically backward, and he was one among two sisters, in between two sisters. He started study, and he studied physics, he studied philosophy also, psychology also, and later on he was sent to study biology, physics as well as botany. During the course of his study, his father died, and though he was economically lagging behind, some of his friends suggested to become the priest or monk of the church and carry his study onward. Isn't it? He had struggled a lot during his lifetime for his career. However, in the age of 21, he joined a church as a priest in Austria. Okay, and he was initially very poor, or he required remediation in mathematics, and he was sent also to clear his mathematics, to strengthen his mathematics with the remedial teaching, isn't it? Then he came back and joined a church in Austria as a priest, and there was hectares of land and number of pea plants were there. The plants which were cultivated in those areas was Pisum sativum. So Mendel was very much lucky. He observed variety of this Pisum sativum known as pea plant, and then after his observation he assumed so many facts, and he proposed that there are some factors in the body of living being which carry the characters of that particular living being to the offspring, to the next generation. Gregor John Mendel used the term factor. At his time, during the 1828, there were no microscope. So on the basis of his observation and assumption, he assumed that there are factors which carry parental character to the offspring. So it was very good assumption. Okay, so we will see it one by one. And again he told, the factors remain in pair. He worked for 8 to 9 years. He observed pea plants 8 to 9 years, performed experiments in various generations, and then he assumed so many facts like factor are there, factor remain in pair. In a species, factors are in pair. To express phenotypically. Expression require pair of factor. As per Mendel, the factors remain in pair if it has to express. Clear na? And after his experiments he further told that these factors may get segregated, may get separated during the gamete formation. Regarding the pairing, Mendel on the basis of his observation found two kinds of factor. The one factor which always express is treated as dominant factor. If it is alone, it will express. If it is in pair, it will express. Okay, and there is another factor which is recessive, or you may say factor may be either dominant or recessive as per Mendel. Suppose there is a character length. The length may be either tall or it may be dwarf. Clear na? So he used the abbreviation capital letter for the dominant factor T, and as I told you, if it has to express, it will remain in pair. So the dominant factor is capital T, and the dwarf may be also represented as T but small t. There are number of characters, therefore a single letter may be utilized for the dominant and recessive. The difference is that the dominant is written in capital letter and recessive is written in small letter. The factor may be either dominant or recessive. The dominant factor will always express. As per the observation while performing the experiments, Mendel observed that if this capital T or dominant T, the factor for tallness, is in pair with capital T, then it is tall. The pairing may be of these two factors also, either both are dominant or one is dominant, one is recessive. It will be always tall because of the presence of this dominant factor. Recessive factor could not express in the presence of dominant factor. And as I told you, dear students, what is going on inside our body or what are inside the living body, we are expressing in our work in the society also, isn't it? You will see the example, suppose in a classroom there are some brilliant, bright students and low performers. Suppose the recessive students or low performer students, they do not express in the presence of most talkative or brilliant children, they remain silent, isn't it? The same story is here, but if the group is of similar student, all will express. The same story is here. The factor may be pair with the homozygous recessive also. If it is in pair, if recessive factor is in pair, then it will express only and the phenotype is dwarf. The plant will be dwarf. So, these all are assumptions and findings of Gregor John Mendel. Clear na? The two things we have seen, the characters are carried by factor in the living organism, factors remain in pair. Either the pair is homozygous or it may be heterozygous. It is a term homozygous or heterozygous. Clear na? Okay. Then Mendel performed the experiments on pea plant as I told you. Let us see first of all the experiment. Mendel took Pisum sativum, the plant. You must have seen the pea plant. The leaf is like it and it is a climber. The flower is having vexillary estivation. The flower is containing vexillary estivation. I think you must have seen the flower of pea plant. और अगर फूल देखें अपराजिता का ब्लू कलर का फूल होता है वो भी वैक्सिलरी एस्टिवेशन का होता है, isn't it? So pea plant he took for the experiment and 7 characters. He considered 7 characters. 7 characters with their contrasting traits. Contrasting traits are taken into consideration. So, suppose one character he took is stem length. It is also very important to know about what are the factors, what are the characters Mendel took while doing the experiment. Suppose it is a stem length. The stem length is a character and having the dominant as tall and recessive as dwarf one. This is recessive, contrasting character, it is recessive and it is dominant. These are contrasting traits. The stem length, one character he took, then he considered the position of flower. Position of flower. And position of flower may be of two kind. The position of flower may be either axial or it may be terminal. Axial means suppose it is a stem, the place of flower is on the axis. So it is axial position, but suppose the flower is at the terminating end of the stem, it is terminal. So terminal is recessive character and axial flower is the dominant character. The another character is the color of flower. Color of flower. The flower may be purple or violet. It is dominant one, and the another is white flower. When you will perform survey in a village area, then you may see the pea plants, different kinds of pea plants also. So, color of flower, these three characters with their contrasting traits. Then he considered the shape and color of the pod. Suppose this is containing fruit. मटर का फली खाए हैं ना. The fruit is type of lomentum, or you may say it is lomentum or pod. The fruit type is pod. So he took the shape of pod. Pod is fruit, and the shape may be either inflated. Inflated means it is smooth like this. This is inflated, or it may be constricted. Constricted is recessive character. The pod may be either inflated or constricted. Constricted like this. The pod may be either inflated or constricted. Clear? अब बीन भी देखेंगे. अगर अभी विंटर आ रहा है, you may see the fruits of bean also. 4 you have seen the characters. Then next he took the example of seed. Color of the shape and color of the pod. Color of the pod also. If you will see externally, the color may be either green or yellow. Green color is dominant in terms of fruit or pod, and yellow color is recessive in terms of pod. Then he took 2 more character into consideration. One is shape of seed. The seed may be either smooth. The seed may be smooth. So, or round, you may say. The shape may be round, or it may be wrinkled like this. It may be wrinkled. The shape may be wrinkled. झुर्रीदार जिसको बोलते हैं. Either it is round or it is wrinkled. Wrinkled is recessive character and round is the dominant character. And lastly, he took the character as color of the seed, and it is just reverse to the color of the pod in terms of dominant and recessive. Yellow color of seed is dominant character, and green color of seed is recessive character. So, these 7 characters with their contrasting traits means one character having 2 contrasting traits he took into consideration while performing the experiment. Okay. Now, let us see how he conducted the experiment. He took one gene or one factor into consideration and performed the experiment. First of all, Mendel performed monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross. What is monohybrid cross? If single character with its contrasting traits is taken into consideration while experiment, it is treated as monohybrid cross. It comes under monogenic inheritance. So, single character with its two contrasting traits. He performed experiment on pea plant, Pyzium sativum. Then what he did? He took tall plant. After his observation, he selected pure line breed, means the plant which is all time tall in several generations. So he took that plant and treated it as tall, or you may say it as parent plant, as tall plant. And another plant he took dwarf. Okay, it is dwarf one, and both he considered as parent plant. He further assumed these factors get separated. This factor gets segregated during the gamete formation, and nowadays also it is happening. You have seen while studying the reproduction unit, you have seen in the gamete formation there is meiosis division and the chromosome separate. The paired chromosome segregate and the haploid gamete develops, isn't it? So Mendel was very much pioneer and lucky also, and he told that factors segregate during gamete formation, and this fact is further turned into a law known as law of segregation. The first or the dominant factor case was treated as law of dominance. I will tell you later on, law of dominance, and second one is law of segregation. These all were formulated after the death of Mendel. Mendel performed his experiment. Mendel recorded it and submitted it in the journal also, in the library, and after his death, after 16 years of his death, his work was recognized by the followers, by the another scientist. When they work on the same line, on the same pattern, and while observing the references, they notice the work of Mendel, and then the work of Mendel was formulated in terms of principle of inheritance, and two were included as a law under principle of inheritance. One is law of dominance and another is law of segregation. These together were kept under the head principle of inheritance. Law of dominance, law of segregation. So let us complete first this experiment. The parent, tall parent, made two gamete, both are capital T and capital T, and here again the factors segregate and these form gamete. So both are similar factors. So let us consider one. These two will join together during the fertilization. Gamete formation occur, then fertilization will occur, and one tall factor and one small factor, you can say one dominant, one recessive factor join together to form progeny or first generation. It is F1, first filial generation, or it is treated as first F1 generation. This appears tall, the phenotype is tall. If the external appearance is considered, the term is phenotype, and if the genetic factor is considered, it is treated as genotype. So this is F1 generation. Okay, it is tall also, Then how to know this is containing dominant factor, both dominant factor or one dominant factor, one recessive factor? Mendel performed one another experiment, and that is treated as, or what he did, he crossed this F1 progeny with the recessive parent, small t, and this he called as test cross. To know whether the progeny is homozygous or heterozygous, the cross with recessive parent is performed and it is treated as test cross. Then what will happen? This will form two kind of gamete, and here one kind of gamete will be there, and if this will unite with this, there will be tall plant, and if this factor will unite with this, it will be dwarf. So 50-50 result he obtained, 50% tall, 50% dwarf. Okay, so this is the result of test cross, 50% tall, 50% dwarf. Okay, so this is up to F1 generation. Then he continued the experiment for the next generation. Let us see what he did for the next generation. For next generation, again a cross is performed which is treated as self cross. The cross among the self or the same progeny is performed. Okay, and then what happened? Both are heterozygous now, both are containing two different kind of factors, so both will form two kind of gamete. This will form capital T and small t, and similarly this will also form two kind of gamete. So these are the gamete for the second generation. Then what will happen? Suppose if this fertilization will be there, fertilization among the or between the gamete of two parent will occur. If this capital T or dominant T will join with this dominant, then it will be tall. It will be tall plant. Suppose this dominant T meet with this recessive T, then what will be its phenotype? Certainly, it will be also tall, because one of the dominant factor is present here. Recessive factor could not express in presence of dominant factor. The same will happen here also. This will unite with this and will form one capital T, a small t, heterozygous. It will be also tall, and when it will meet with this small t or recessive T, then it will be dwarf. Recessive factor now come in pair. They are able to express, अपने ग्रुप में आ गए, अपने जोड़े में आ गए, अब ये एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हैं. There is no any dominant factor. So this is the result of second generation. This is F2 generation. Okay, when you will summarize it, then you may find the phenotypic ratio. दिखने में कैसा है ना? The phenotypic ratio is 3:1, 3 tall and 1 dwarf plant is there. And if factor is containing genotypic ratio, then what you are observing? You are observing 1 pure tall, 2 hybrid tall and 1 dwarf. 1:2, 2:1. So this is the result of monohybrid cross. While performing self cross in F1 generation, there is result as phenotypic ratio 3:1 and genotypic ratio 1:2:1. After performing this monohybrid cross, Mendel told various factors regarding the dominance, regarding the law of dominance. What he told? As I told you earlier, while starting this lesson, the dominant factor always express the factor remain in pair, and the pair may be either homozygous or it may be heterozygous. In the species, the factor gets segregated during the gamete formation. Okay. The recessive factor will express only when it is in pair, in the homozygous pair. Clear na? So, these constitute law of dominance and law of segregation. So, this is about the monohybrid cross. Then Mendel again performed another experiment considering two characters with their contrasting traits. Let us continue the work of Mendel. The another is dihybrid cross. Dihybrid cross. What is dihybrid cross? Dihybrid cross consists of two characters with their contrasting traits. Mendel took contrasting traits. Mendel took two characters into consideration. What he took? He took seed shape. As you have seen, the dominant shape is round, and recessive shape is wrinkled. So, you may use the factor as RR in phenotype. RR, two factors for round and two factors for wrinkled. He took this into consideration, and another is seed color. The seed color may be yellow, which may be expressed by the paired factor YY, and the recessive may be green, and it is also expressed by small letter of YY. Clear? So, what you can write now? He took seed having round shape and yellow color, and then crossed it with wrinkled shape with green color. These are taken as parent plant in dihybrid cross. Okay, let us see now the cross. So, let us start. These are parent plant, round and yellow seed is crossed with wrinkled and green seed. These are parent plant. Then there will be gamete formation, and for the gamete formation, one factor of each character must be there. So, a gamete will contain both factor, one factor of shape, one factor of color, and the same story will be this side. This is gamete. Then in F1 generation or after fertilization, the gamete will unite and there will be RRYY. one capital or dominant R, one recessive R, one dominant Y and one recessive Y. Okay, this is F1 generation. Dear student, what will be its phenotype? For the shape, one dominant factor is here, then it will be round, and for the color also one dominant factor is here, then it will be round and yellow in appearance, in phenotype. Clear na? So this is F1 generation of dihybrid cross. Now you perform self cross, then what you will do or how you will make the gamete? Let us discuss. This is very important point. Please have attention. This is the hybrid, round and yellow, and there is self cross. Okay, we have to perform self cross. Then always remember, these two are factors of one character, either dominant or recessive, but these are factors of one character, that is shape, round or wrinkled. So both factor will segregate. Similarly, these two are factors for the same character, color, yellow or green. So these have to segregate. Or while formation of gamete, these factor, one of these factor may unite with any of these factor, but never this or this will unite, never this or this will unite. Please don't confuse. Okay, then you see here, just have a look. This capital or dominant R may join with this capital Y and make RY as gamete, the gamete containing round and yellow factor, or this capital R may combine with this small y and it may make the gamete containing factor round and green. Okay, then this small r may also combine with this dominant Y and form this gamete, and the same story with this small one. So 4 type of gametes are produced. Okay na? And similarly 4 kinds of gametes are produced in that case also. There is a formula. Please remember, if you have to make gamete, then you remember this formula, 2 to the power n, where n is the number of factor. What is this n? It is number of factor, number of character. You may say number of character. There are 2 characters, shape and color. So you may do like this, 2 to the power 2, and it will be 4 gamete will be produced. If there are 3 characters, then 6 gamete, or 2 to the power 3, 6 gametes have to be performed, isn't it? 2 into 2 into 2, 8. Clear? So please remember this formula. Biologist should be also good in mathematics as per Mendel, isn't it? Mendel was mathematician too, and he was biologist too, and he was pioneer implementing mathematics with the biology also. This is also a fact. Now, dear student, you see there are 4 gamete and there will be also 4 gamete. In between or while performing such experiments, there was another scientist. Reginald C. Punnett. R.C. Punnett was another mathematician who propounded a table, who had given a table, and in such table we may use gamete, male gamete, female gamete, and we write the gamete here, suppose R Y. Suppose we are writing gamete here. So we may write the factors in the progeny here. Okay na? So this square propounded by Reginald C. Punnett, this is treated as Punnett square. This is Punnett square. So now we will calculate with the help of Punnett square to make it more convenient. Clear na? So let us discuss ahead regarding this dihybrid cross. Just to make a Punnett square, you have to put 4 and 4 gamete as male gamete and female gamete. So make such a big square, Punnett square, and at one side you consider as male gamete and female gamete, and further you make 4 columns. So let us write gamete. You may write gamete like this, isn't it? And in this column you write gamete of female. This is Punnett square, and then you may get the result as RRYY. What will be its phenotype? Both are dominant. It will be round and yellow. Clear na? Let us use one special symbol, a specific symbol. Suppose it is round and yellow. Then in the next column you see capital R, capital Y and a small y. It will be also round and yellow because in case of color one dominant factor is here, then it is also round and yellow. Then you write here one capital R, one small r, one capital Y, one small y. In both character dominant factors are present, therefore it will be also round and yellow. Now here you see one capital R, one small r, one capital Y and one small y. The same story is also here, it will be also round and yellow. Then come to this particular column, both are capital R, one is small y and capital Y. It is also round and yellow. Then here you see both are capital R and both are small y. What will be its expression? It is green. So it is now round and green. Let us use another abbreviation. Let us use HAS. It is round and green. Clear na? Then again you proceed, one capital R, one small r, one capital Y and one small y. Then it is round and yellow. It is round and yellow. Give a star mark. Then here you see it is round because one dominant factor is here and none other is green one. Recessive factor are together. Now they are able to express. It will be green. So put hashtag hash mark here. Now you see here capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. Then it will be also round and yellow. Clear na? Then one capital R, one small y, one capital Y, one small y. So here it is also, yes, a star mark, round and yellow. Then both are small r and both are capital Y. It will be wrinkled yellow, the another character developed. Wrinkled yellow. Now let us use the round mark like this, plus sign. It is wrinkled and yellow. Another character appears. Now you see small r, one capital Y, one small y. It will be yellow, it is wrinkled. So it is wrinkled yellow. Yes. So for wrinkled yellow you have to put the sign of plus. Now come to this column, one capital R, one small r, one capital Y, one small y. So it will be round and yellow. Clear na? Then here you see one capital R, one small, and both are small yy. So it is round and green. And for round and green we have used this one. Yes, this is the hashtag. You put hashtag here, and then capital small r, one capital Y, one small y. Wrinkled and yellow. It is wrinkled and yellow, and we have to put the sign of plus here, and then the last but not least, equal to the recessive parent, that is wrinkled and green. So this is of a special kind. अब कौन सा सिंबल लगाएं? यहाँ पर मल्टीप्लिकेशन का सिंबल लगा देते हैं, isn't it? Like this. So you see, if we will see the genotype factor, one progeny is similar to the parental plant, like homozygous dominant, and another is with the homozygous recessive, and rest are recombinant, rest are hybrid. So if you will put the phenotypic ratio, then you will see round and yellow seed as 9, round and green 3, wrinkled yellow 3, and wrinkled green 1. 9 is 2, 3 is 2, 3 is 2, 1. This is the phenotypic ratio in case of dihybrid cross. Dear student, you may remember it also by keeping this arrow mark. Suppose these column all are round and yellow, these are round and yellow, and this is also round and yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Clear na? Again in triangle you will get round and green, round and green. This is round and green, this is round and green, this is round and green. And again in a triangle you will get wrinkled and yellow, wrinkled and yellow, and then one is parental recessive. So this is about the dihybrid cross. Let us see one very important assumption here. You have seen the parent plant and the F1 generation also you have seen. Like this. And there will be self cross. So, for the gamete formation, suppose two characters are there, then factor of one character, these two are the factor of different character, this is factor of one character and this is factors of another character, this is factor of shape and this is factor of color, clear na? So, while the formation of gamete, one factor of one character, suppose this is the one factor of one character, it is free to join with any of the factor of another character. It may join with the capital R or it may combine with the small y to form gamete. It is free to combine with any of the factor, either dominant or recessive of the another character. So, this is treated as while the gamete formation during the course of transfer. So, this is treated as, and this was formulated as law of independent assortment. The third law was generated and this was treated as law of independent assortment. It is independent to meet any of the factor of another character while gamete formation. So, this is also very important law framed on the basis of work of Mendel, but this did not get the place in the principle of inheritance, only law of dominance and law of segregation. Dear student, please remember, this law of segregation is also known as universal law. This is also treated as universal law. It is still true. Clear na? Therefore, such works of Mendel was recognized after his death of 16 years and then he was rewarded as father of genetics. Clear? Gregor John Mendel. And on the basis of his observation and assumptions only, he propounded such facts regarding the factor and regarding the process of inheritance. What is inheritance? Is a phenomenon. You may say inheritance is a process, steps to perform heredity. And what is heredity? Heredity is transfer of parental character to the offspring, and by the use of inheritance the traits are transmitted from parent to the offspring. So, this is the contribution of Gregor John Mendel. So, in this lesson it is up to here only. Dear student, please practice for monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. In next lesson we will discuss about the deviations observed for the Mendelian experiments and other aspects also. Please cheer up and study it, keep your learning up. I am a bio ma'am, you are my students. If you have any query, any problem, please consult me. So, and also you like and subscribe this channel so that you can get the latest one video also. Till then, bye.